Before this video starts, I want to give a massive shout out to all my channel members. If you want to receive a shout out, then become a channel member today and you'll be shown on screen like all these other channel members here. Anyways, enjoy the video. In version 15.5, we get to see Citizen Mola receive talents. In this video, I want to go over what our aquatic friend had received and to see if they could put that peanut-sized brain into work or if they'll be one of the millions of Mola that die early. The talents they received include Weaken, Freeze, Slow, Knockback, and Curse. Before we start, like, comment, subscribe, the whole ordeal. The footage of talented Mola is at level 50. Before we dive into their talents, I want to talk about Citizen Mola as a unit real quick. Citizen Mola is an extremely simple unit. They're a variant of Dragon Cat who trades literally all survivability for a cheaper deploy cost and faster cooldown. In stages that lack any sort of piercing attack, like waves or LD, or even just an enemy with over 400 range, then they're a fine addition to any lineup. Otherwise, you might just be better off using any old dragon variant. So what does Ponos decide to do with their talents? Well, turn them into what is effectively a dragon variant who comes equipped with all sorts of CC effects, these being Weaken, Freeze, Slow, Knockback, and Curse. Every single ability that has a time attached to it lasts for 3 seconds or 3.6 seconds against treasure traits. Freeze is by far their best talent, as out of all of the CC effects they have access to, Freeze will have the most impact. If you can get a good stack of Molas going, then Freeze could very easily keep an enemy frozen forever. Any enemy with less than 400 range and isn't freeze immune will not be able to act at all. In stages where every enemy is less than 400 range and isn't immune to freeze, it can make a ton of stages a whole lot easier if you can get a good stack going. However, you may not always get the freeze proc with your Molas. This is where their slow talent comes in. While it isn't nearly as powerful as freeze as an effect, its ability to act as a backup CC effect that will nearly as effectively halt enemy progress makes it a great backup option. Oh, and don't worry about the slow overriding the freeze, as the game will always prioritize the freeze ability over slow. Then there's Weaken, which can act as a neat third layer of CC for your Mola stack. If you're struggling to deny enemy movement, the least you could do is minimize their pushing power even further. With Weaken, you can help keep your meat shields alive for longer. This talent mainly acts as a third layer of security in the event neither freeze or slow can activate. Then there is Knockback, which I think is a bit of a double-edged sword of a talent. While it does provide a ton of defensive potential for the Mola stack by sending any enemy towards them away from the Mola stack, it can reduce the effectiveness of some units, especially if they're really stacked with each other. It can be useful against enemies who sport a ton of endurance, allowing you to regain ground from some enemies. The final talent is Curse, which isn't the most useful talent. This is mainly because it doesn't have a ton of practical applications. It can be used for enemies like Emost, who rely on their ability to both knock back and slow to push. However, the value you get out of this talent is minimal compared to the other ones, especially if you have access to a unit like Fried Chicken, who can effectively curse everything that needs to be cursed in the game. So, how good are Citizen Mola's talents? Well, to say they're interesting is a bit of an understatement. Citizen Mola effectively becomes an Abisu who has no blind spot, but with absolutely no survivability, meaning they can't be used in stages that have any sort of piercing. Freeze and Slow are the main talents to look at if you want to invest in Citizen Mola. Weaken and Knockback are just extra layers of insurance if you really want to use Citizen Mola. The uses for Curse are not nearly enough to really justify acquiring this talent, especially when you have access to the likes of Fried Chicken, who effectively curses everything in the game that needs to be cursed anyways. Before looking into investing in Citizen Mola talents, it's important to ask the following question. Am I going to use this unit often, and am I struggling against any enemies who don't have any sort of piercing and don't outrange Dragon Cat? If not, then you probably don't need Citizen Mola talents. With all that said, I want to thank you for watching this analysis of Citizen Mola's talents. If you thought this insight was interesting, then be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy Battle Cat's content, and comment down below your thoughts on them. I'd love to hear what you all think. Also, shout out to the following channel members: Dr. Deadly, Gomet, Virus Opero, Just a Shark, Gross Cat the Ultra, Potato King, Clamorous, Fairly Grover, Jade Rabbit, Tentacle Gaming, I May Be Dumb, I'm Too Few, Alex the Durex, Carlos Fabian, Hugberto, The Real Knight, Jenna Kulterberg, The Gelatinous Cube, Warp ST, and Mimi Ash for being silver members or higher. If you want to receive a shout out like these channel members here, then become a silver member or higher today. Becoming a channel member supports what I do in a way that helps keep the lights on and allows me to continue making content for all of you to watch. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day.